ومن الناس من يتخذ من دون الله أندادا يحبونهم كحب الله والذين آمنوا أشد حبا لله
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك.
When you enter the state of Ihram, you're not only putting on clothing, you're not only putting on clothes, you're entering a spiritual state. You're entering a spiritual state of nearness to God. You're about to go towards the house of God and the holiest place on this earth, which represents the divine presence. You're about to stand before Allah. To stand before Him, to enter into His presence, you must be pure. Before one enters the state of Ihram and puts the clothing on, it's recommended to take a shower. You should be pure before you stand before your Creator. The same way when you pray, you must make the wudu. You must wash yourself in a certain way. Why? Maybe one of the lessons is this, that in order to be in the presence of God, in order to be with God, you must be pure. Because God is purity, and He is pure. One who is impure cannot be with Him, cannot be close to Him. So you enter into the state of Ihram and you put on these two simple pieces of clothing. It's two simple clothing. You take everything off, you take off all your clothes. You have nothing on except these two pieces of white cloth, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling because it's like you're stripped of everything you think you are. You're stripped of your title, you're stripped of your lineage, you're stripped of your culture, you're stripped of your background, you're stripped of everything. You know, you don't wear anything except these two pieces of cloth. Apart from that, you're completely naked. It's so humbling, because these two pieces of cloth, that's all you have. And it's a reminder that in the journey to God, your wealth doesn't accompany you, your family doesn't accompany you, your loved ones don't accompany you. It's only you and what you've done. And the Ihram, furthermore, reminds you of the burial shroud. It's very similar to the burial shroud, when my body will die and then again I'll be washed. You see, again it comes back to the washing. And my body will be washed and I'll be put in the burial shroud, which is also white, and it's also very simple. And that's it. The body's put in the ground's covered. Nothing goes with me. My family doesn't go with me. My money doesn't go with me. My so-called respect doesn't go with me. All that goes with me is my heart and my actions. And when you are entering in the state of Ihram, all that you have with you is your heart and your actions. When you're going towards the house of God, you have to go after you freed yourself from everything else that doesn't matter. You have to free yourself and purify yourself from all these distractions, from all these worthless things that the world is fighting over. Fame, power, respect, culture, all these stupid things that have no value. You have to get rid of all of them. You have to be naked from all of these things. Forget about them and put on these two pieces of cloth. which make a king and a beggar equal. You can't tell who's who. Just like when you die, and the graves, you can't tell whose grave is whose. It's exactly the same. All that matters is what you've done with your life, what I've done with my life, what I've done with my heart, how pure my heart is. And this is the real test. The test of the heart. What heart do I bring to God? And when I go to the holy house of God with nothing on my body except these 2 pieces of cloth, all I'm taking to Him is my heart. It's like you're forced to look at your heart, yourself now, because you have nothing else to look at anymore. You have nothing else to look at anymore. And when you put on the clothing of the Ihram, and then you make your intention of performing the Umrah, the visitation to God's house, you make your intention and then you enter the spiritual state of Ihram, and then you're actually told to say, Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Oh Allah, I'm here now. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Oh Allah, you have no partners. Here I am. You called me, I'm answering you. I've left everything for you. I've left my clothes. I've left my home. I've left my family. I've left my friends. I've left everything I loved for you. I have nothing. Look at me. Look at how poor I am. I have nothing. Only these 2 pieces of cloth that are covering my body. That's all I own. But I hope that you will accept me. And I know that you will look not at these things, but you look at my heart. And that you'll accept my heart. So it's really amazing. Really amazing. And when we pray, in the prayer we also enter the state of Ihram. That's why the first time you raise your hands and say Allahu Akbar, God is greater than anything and everything, it's called Takbirat al-Ihram. It's called the Takbir of Ihram, because you're entering the state of Ihram, a special state of nearness to God, to your Creator, to Allah, the most merciful of the merciful.